Great, thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everybody. Amanda and I are just going to introduce ourselves so that you know who's going to be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour kind of talking about Coventry's approach in regards to Family Hub and Start for Life. So my name is Amanda Reynolds and I am the Early Help Manager with responsibility for the Family Hub and Start for Life transformation. So very much working in collaboration with partners to ensure that Coventry meets the requirements of our Family Hub and Start for Life offer. So this afternoon I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the local context and the national context, and how in Coventry actually we strive to ensure that services and our offer best meets the needs of children, young people and their families. And Amanda.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. My name is Amanda King and I'm the Service Lead for Early Years, Quality Improvement and Standards in Coventry. I work closely with the Family Hubs and Early Help colleagues in delivery of the Start for Life programme.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. So the purpose then of our session this afternoon is really to share with you how we within Coventry and the activity related to the Start for Life programme and the early years strategy aims to close the inequality gaps within Coventry. So we are going to be sharing some examples of how we provide support services and the offer to children and families within the city. The agenda this afternoon, so these are some of the things that we would like to cover this afternoon, is around kind of a little bit of information about the Family Hub offer, a little bit of information around the impact, so some of our impact data. We're also going to share with you how we consult with families. We're going to be looking then at how we engage in our partnership offer. We're going to talk to you about the Start for Life offer. So it's kind of in sections this afternoon. So the Start for Life offer will talk about, again, what our offer is for families within Coventry and what the data is saying. Then we're going to be talking about the early education entitlements and offer in regards to families playing and learning together. And then it will be then your opportunity then to ask any questions at the end of the session. So hopefully there's things in there that you'll find out lots more about as we go through the slides. Okay. So in terms of Coventry Family Hubs and our local context and our local offer, so Coventry was one of the 75 local authorities that received national government funding back in 2022 to actually extend and expand our Family Hub and Start for Life offer. Family Hubs are a place-based way of actually joining up services both within the locality and supporting and working with families in the delivery of our services. There are 3 national principles to the delivery of the Family Hub and Start for Life programme. One is to improve access, so that is around supporting as many families to access the Start for Life and the Family Hub offer within the city. It's an entitlement for all and it's accessible to all. The other principle is around building connections, and those connections then around built within families, children, young people within the city, but also around partners working together and building those connections to best then serve and support the children and families of the city. And the third principle is around gaining and engaging and building relationships with families, children, young people and partners to really ensure that the Family Hub and Start for Life offer is really at the very heart of local communities and the local offer. The other requirement in terms of the funding expectations was to deliver a comprehensive Start for Life programme, and the Start for Life programme primarily focuses on children within the first 1,001 days. And the Start for Life offer in Coventry is absolutely kind of ingrained in the offer between our Family Hub and our Start for Life programme. So, and hopefully you'll find out more about that a little bit later on. The other element and the key element of the success of the Family Hub and Start for Life offer in Coventry is around working effectively in partnership. And working together as a Family Hub network is absolutely vital to enable our offer to reach as many families as we possibly can. The terminology around all families is highlighted on the slide there, and that really is the opportunity to provide support, advice, information, guidance to all families that need the support, need to access the activities. So it really is a universal service then that's available to all families. Okay. The next slide then focuses on the national picture. So our funding had within it some areas and some requirements. So we were obliged and required to actually work and support the 6 mandated services. Now you'll see them highlighted in various colours. And we'll talk about the mandated services later on, but primarily look at working with midwifery services, health visiting services, services that support parent-infant relationships and mental health, breastfeeding and infant feeding services, and family support, and our SEND offer. And again, we'll be talking a little bit more of detail around that later on in the slides. In terms of what the offer looks like in Coventry, so the Family Hub and Start for Life programme is very much part of Coventry's early help strategy. So you can see on the slide there, then we really focus on, the vision is to enable and support children, young people and their families to really thrive within the city. The Family Hub and Start for Life programme is very much aligned to our child-friendly Cov pledges, and you'll see some of those pledges on the slide there. We have 5 commitments, and we're going to be talking about the commitment around seeking family views a little bit later on, where we will kind of evidence and enhance really our parent voice offer and offer opportunities. The other commitments you can see there are around our workforce development. So that's about making sure that our partners who are supporting families actually have really quite a comprehensive multi-agency workforce development opportunities that really will focus on the delivery of the Family Hub and Start for Life offer. There's also elements there in terms of data collection and also how we then support local communities. So everything that we do is incorporated within our early help strategy. Okay. So that was the kind of national and local perspective. I'm now going to show you then just a short video, and hopefully the technology will be kind to us this afternoon. But this video, I think it's around about 3 minutes, but it really does give a real flavour around the Family Hub offer within Coventry. So we thought we'd like to make a start and show you this at the beginning of our slide deck and presentation this afternoon, so you can really get a feel around kind of what our Family Hub offer is. So I'm going to press the play button, and hopefully you should be able to both see and hear the video. If you can't hear or see it, would you just be able to put it in the chat? And Michael, would you be able to pick that up then if there are any problems? So here we go. Yeah. What we will do is we'll send out the slides and make the slides available, and the video is actually embedded in the slides. So really apologies that you weren't able to hear and see it this afternoon, but when you receive the slides, you'll certainly be able to look at your leisure then at the video. It really encapsulates really the work of the Family Hubs and the impact and what it means to families. That's really why we wanted to kind of show it to you at the beginning of our presentation this afternoon. That's great. Oh, thank you for the guys that could see, and apologies for those that couldn't. So the next set of slides then, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about kind of Coventry's journey in our Family Hub development. And over the last two or 3 years, we've really enhanced and expanded on our Family Hub offer within Coventry. It's enabled us to provide more services for children and families. It's enabled us to extend and expand our reach to families, and by doing so in a range of different ways. So we've enabled our Family Hub buildings. So we've worked collaboratively with our children, families and young people and our partners in terms of the physical environment within Family Hubs. So certainly after consultation and collaboration with families around what families would like to see and feel within their family hubs. So all of the hubs then have undergone redesign in terms of the interior, and again with real consultation and collaboration with our families. We have also established a digital offer, a digital family hub offer for families that enables them families to access information, support, advice, guidance, 24/7, 365 days a year. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the digital offer in a little bit more detail later on. The family hubs now house birth registration, so children can be registered. Families can choose to use their local family hub to register the birth of their babies. We also have, and again, we'll show some data on this a little bit later on around the increase in our birth registrations and how actually we really are, progressing very well in terms of gaining more families who are actually accessing the activities within the Family Up and Start for Life programme. We have a number now of partners who are involved in the delivery of the Family Hub offer and who are part of our Family Hub network. And we really do take the information, the detail around parents and parents' user feedback around the Family Hub and Start for Life offer too. And again, we'll talk a little bit around how we do that a little bit later on. In terms of the Family Hub offer itself, so you can see then on this slide, so each Family Hub has its own unique icon and logo. And again, these were chosen in conjunction with families and partners. But the branding also changed in terms of our Family Hub marketing and promotion, where actually we have a standard branding around Family Hubs, and each of the Family Hubs has its own colour associated and also its own unique logo. So it's very much part of the Family Hub family, but actually has its own unique colour and logo as well. So a lot of work has gone into establishing that, and hopefully when families see the Family Hub logo, they know exactly what to expect and where to go for the activities, the support and interventions. As we've just talked about, so we have produced a whole range of information. So we've produced our Start for Life brochure, and the brochure really is both digital and a physical copy of the Start for Life services and all of the information that new expectant parents and then parents who have children 0 to 2 will be able to access all of the information around the offer to them. As we've talked about before, we house birth registrations within Family Hubs. We hold one-stop sessions for families, so we call it our Bumps Baby and Beyond. So parents can come to the Family Hub when they are expecting their baby, and then continue then to access the offer throughout the birth of their baby and then into the baby's first 2 years. So it's very much around a collaborative approach with our midwifery services, our health visiting services and our Family Hub teams to ensure that actually that availability of the sessions are in every Family Hub. We also look at local data, so we certainly have very specific sessions that are put on for families around reducing inequalities within particular areas or within particular groups, and so the services within Family Hub areas will change depending very much on the communities that the Family Hubs are supporting. We're very much focusing on engaging with dads within our Family Hub and Start for Life programme, and certainly we have a number of activities that are focused on engaging with dads, and we're working with a company called Fatherhood Solutions, who actually contribute and support dads in terms of emotional well-being, infant relationships with their babies, and also enabling Family Hubs to be a place for dads to also attend and to feel that they are very much part of the delivery of the Family Hub model. We have a range of holiday activities that are put on within each family hub. So that's over and above the business as usual timetables. So each family hub has its own timetable, both from within term time and also within the holidays also. And we're really pleased to also share with you that over the last 2 years we have hosted Baby Week, which is a week in November, which really focuses on activities and support for babies. And again, we've got some quite astonishing data really in terms of the number of families and babies that we've reached today over the last 2 events that we've put over the last 2 years. So again, we'll talk about a little bit about data in a little while. So in terms of supporting families and in terms of supporting families to register with a family hub, and again, we've titled this slide as the impact of the family hub model. So you can see there in June 2024, we had established a digital signing in system. And again, that was to support then the ease of access for families to come to a family hub and just to be able to scan their QR code into the building. And then it's as easy as that in terms of so there are no registration paper forms to fill out. It's very much kind of based on, you've got your QR codes, then actually, you'll scan yourself into a family hub, and then it's as easy as that. So in June 2024, we had 8,557 families that were registered. You can see then now in terms of the data for January of this year, that's now risen to 20,337. So really in terms of our kind of, reaching more families, we certainly are well on the way to, to ensuring that actually most families know about the Family Hub and Start for Life offer, and that's certainly our aspiration within Coventry to do just that. But you can certainly kind of see the gradual increase in terms of the registration and the take up, and certainly up until the point in Q3, then the registration figures have actually increased by 33%, which again is just great. Okay. So as part of our Family Hub and Start for Life programme, we also received funding to extend and expand our parenting offer and to build on the current parenting offer that was in place prior to 2022. And we are delighted to kind of share with you some data in terms of the impact of that intervention. And we also just want to flag with you the how. So this is in terms of our intervention and our approaches. We have a whole range of interventions and programs that are available for families to access. We have an online offer, so via our Solihull approach online, where actually families can register to receive the information from the Solihull approach and to undertake the modules within that approach. But once a family is registered once, then they are registered and have lifetime login. So if you, for example, have a 2-year-old that actually you want to seek some support in terms of parenting strategies, then you will log in and register when your child is 2, and actually you can then keep going back to that resource. So when your child then becomes 13, you can then still utilise the parenting interventions and programmes for working and supporting teenagers. So it really is a really beneficial online resource that will last the lifetime in terms of the login and the registration processes. You can certainly see on the slide there in terms of the range of interventions and the range of programs, and also we've importantly put the age range of the children that actually the parenting intervention is focusing in. So we're really pleased and proud in terms of the expansion and extension of our parenting offer. And when we were focusing on the key outcomes, there were 3 main areas really that we wanted to focus on. The first was around maximising and increasing the choice and volume for parents. The second element is around supporting more parents to access the parenting support. And the third is around then ensuring the impact of intervention that parents attending, around parents reporting that they have an increased confidence and increased and improved family relationships. And again, the next slide that we're just going to kind of flag up there is that we are now currently operating and running 41 programmes for parents across the city. And to date, nearly 1,700 parents had accessed parenting intervention. 579 of parents accessed from identified groups, and 93% of those parents reported an increase in confidence and improved family relationships. So we certainly monitor and review the data based on the three outcomes that we've just talked about, and it really is really positive reading in terms of the impact of that programme. Okay. We talked at the beginning of the presentation around the real importance around incorporating what families say. So really taking the opportunities to consult with families around their family hub user experience. So again, there's just some stats on the slide there around how families felt welcome within the family hub environment. So really pleased to say that 100% of families actually felt welcomed. Families received the help that they needed, and again, a very high percentage there reported that. And families rated that their experience was good or better. So again, real positive reading in terms of the impact around the family hub model. The other area that we wanted to focus on was when families aren't accessing the family hub offer. So what then can we do in terms of those that hadn't previously received or accessed the family hub offer? So again, we had provided and ran some surveys around those non-user engagement. And some of the feedback that we have then gone on to establish and identify and bridge some of those gaps and address some of those gaps in terms of the activities and the way in which then that we reach out and support families. So you'll see there that families indicated they wanted to see expanded offer around our youth provision, around our SEND offer, and around support for children's emotional well-being. That was certainly the three key themes really that came out of that exercise. The other area that we've also done is complete a mystery shopper activity and exercise, and that really is so that we could be confident. So when families come in or phone in to the family hub, that they receive a prompt, swift, helpful response that meets the needs of the parent when they're calling a family hub. The element then around working in partnership. So as we talked about at the beginning, the Coventry Family Hub Network now consists of 51 partners who are now working together to actually deliver the Family Hub offer and to deliver a really an active part of the Family Hub Network. So there's information on the slide there around what the Family Hub Network is, what it does, and how people can get involved. And we certainly want to use opportunities such as this to really stress that if you are sitting there actually thinking I want to be part of the Family Hub Network, then our contact details are at the end of the slide deck. So please get in touch, and we can certainly kind of navigate you in terms of being part of the Family Hub Network. But absolutely, the network and the Family Hub offer couldn't be as successful as it is without working in partnership. So it really is a key area of our work in terms of engaging with partners. And as such, we have some information that's available for partners. So when partners are supporting and working with children and families, then actually we have information around the environment within family hubs, what families and what partners can expect when they come into a family hub, and actually to have kind of a bookable space within family hubs to actually support partners to go to a family hub and work with the children and families that they're currently supporting. So again, it's another really key offer around the use of the family hub space. So we have recently undertaken a 3-year review of the Family Hub and Start for Life programme. I'm really pleased to be able to kind of pull together an impact report which gives some real life case studies about the offer and the impact that the offer has had for families. We've got some real key stats that hopefully you can kind of see within your screen there. So 28,000 families have accessed the Start for Life offer. You can see there that as part of our offer was to increase infant feeding and breastfeeding rates. So we exceeded the target. So we're now currently at 61% of take up for breastfeeding. You can see there then that in terms that 691 families have been regularly attending the range of support within family hubs. 362 professionals have been trained using the Welcome training. 32,000 Start for Life brochures have been distributed. 79 dads have been supported through our Engaging with Fathers programme. And 8,770 unique users have actually accessed the digital platform, of which that data is slightly more increased now, and we'll talk about that in a little while. So really pleasing data that's really enabled us to look at and to focus on our next 12 months in terms of our journey. Okay, I'm now just going to talk a little bit about the digital offer. So in terms of our offer within Coventry, we have our physical offer, which I've kind of briefly talked about in terms of the physical offer for families. We also then have a digital offer, of which we'll talk about the Coventry Families Portal in a minute. And then also our third element of our offer is around engaging with communities. Okay. So in terms of the Coventry Families Portal, and again, on some of the next slides, you'll be able to see a QR code and a URL link. So really strongly encourage people to scan the QR code, download the app. It really does open doors in terms of information and content that will really support children and families and young people and partners who are working together with families. So the Coventry Families Portal is a one-stop support shop of a whole range of information that's available for families. It's an area of work that will never be fully complete because we will always be constantly evolving and building on it. And that again is about responding to needs, adding information, and really making a real comprehensive digital offer for families. The Coventry Families Portal also incorporates our local send offer. So there certainly is some information in the next set of slides around kind of what types of information families are searching for and partners are searching for. As I've talked about before, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's very much based on a resource that's available for families and partners, practitioners at any point. The availability, so they're available on laptops, on mobile telephones, and also onto tablets. So access really is not an issue in terms of the devices that can be used with. The real advantage of the Coventry Families Portal is that the information is scraped from original source, so it really is trusted advice from recognised sources. So in terms of the information then that is updated and maintained at original source, so for example, there's lots of information on the portal around health advice and support that actually, because the information is scraped into the portal, then that information is always updated. The portal reflects and offers information on a range of services. It's absolutely seamless in terms of the integration, and the user experience is really personalised based on finding the right information for those users in terms of what people might have searched for or looked for on the portal. So in terms of availability and accessibility, as we've talked about, so laptops, phones and also tablets. That's ways in which then the information can be accessed. In terms of some of the data, so you'll see then even from when we produced the impact report, so our total users now sits at 9,500 users that have now registered and accessing the portal. You'll see there that 859 apps have been installed and downloaded on devices. We've now thank you, Michael. Michael just gave me a heads up in terms of the timekeeping. So, so we've now kind of smashed the 100,000 page views. And again, when people are searching, the session duration usually is between 1.5 and 2 minutes of the average time spent. There's information on here in terms of page views. So again, you can see on here that the frequency and the amount of page views. These are kind of the top 8. So you'll see there that Family Hub homepage, the SEND homepage, information around Family Hubs, pregnancy and SEND are really kind of up there in terms of what families and people are actually looking for. Okay, I am going to briefly then talk about our Start for Life offer. So this is actually the front cover of our Start for Life brochure. And again, it really is kind of local images and local information around Coventry Start for Life offer. Talked before around our 6 mandated services, of which are all listed there. There is information there about why we're doing it. So again, our vision is at the bottom, in the bottom of the slide, in terms of ensuring that every child receives the best start in life within the first 1,001 days. And the work streams that you can see across are part of the image really have gone great guns to actually establish the targets and really exceed those targets too, which is great to report back on. In terms of the Start for Life offer, so this is the offer. This is how we deliver the offer within Coventry. Talked a little bit around our coordinated collaboration work in terms of the Bump Baby and Beyond. Birth registrations we've talked about. We deliver and present a whole range of activities such as baby massage. We have accessible breast pump hires for families within Family Hubs. We have a citywide antenatal offer in terms of our parent education. Talked about the Start for Life brochures and the fact that actually the leaflets and brochures are translated into a range of languages. We also then have funded the free baby scan pictures, and we'll talk about that in a little minute. We've and again in response to needs established some emergency first aid. That was something really that parents wanted to gain more information on, so that's certainly something that we were able to put on. And then in terms of our support for dads, in terms of engaging with dads. In terms of our impact, these are the numbers. So as we've talked about, 32 brochures distributed, birth registrations. So 691 families chose to register the birth of their baby within a family hub. 276 families have actually accessed the free baby scan pictures. And in terms of the real importance of that particular area of work, is that actually right at the very earliest point within a baby's life, then we are providing information around the Start for Life offer, but equally we are providing and supporting the photos to go to those families who may not necessarily be able to have purchased those photos themselves. So it really is around supporting the bonding with the baby, as well as then promoting the Start for Life offer. Okay. These are some examples of how we share information. We've talked about the brochure, we've talked about the key information that's within that. And the next slide there is around the baby scan photos. So again, the numbers are really increasing quite rapidly in terms of the families that are taking up that offer. In terms of how we meet local needs, so as we've talked about before, we look at the local demographics, and then we establish where the gaps are, and then we will then put and work with partners in meeting those and addressing those local needs. So you can see there that we've established particular areas and set up particular activities that meet the needs within those local areas. And again, there's information there that you can see. In terms of our parent voice, again, linking it in with our early help strategy, our parent voice really has gone from strength to strength in that we now have 326 parents who are actively involved in the Parents' Voice Network. And that includes 12 active parent champions who will actually support and enable more parents to be part of that really crucial parent voice group. And the Parents' Voice really are an integral part of our Family Hub and Start for Life offer. And we really can welcome the views and the voices really of parents. So at every opportunity, we will consult, we will collaborate, and we will co-produce activities and information with the responses that we've received from our parent voice. Okay, so that's the end of my information about Family Hub and Start for Life. Our details are at the end slide. So if you've got any questions, then we can certainly take them at the end. But I'm going to pass over to Amanda now.
Hi everybody. I'm going to just talk about one strand of the work that came from the Start for Life programme related to the home learning environment. And I'm going to flick forward in the slides. I'm going to talk until about 10:02, and then it will still leave 10 minutes for questions. So I was asked to lead on the strand in the Start for Life programme that was around the home learning environment and securing better outcomes for communication and language for our youngest children. We've got about 24,000 children in Coventry aged birth to 5, and they extend right across the city. You'll know that Coventry is a small city, but it's compact. But we have a lot of very, very young children within the system, and we have 8 family hubs. So what we've done is looked very, very closely at families being able to play and learn together with their children. And we've done this because we know that the quality of the home learning environment, and when we say that, we don't mean just playing at home, we mean being out and about with your children, out in the community and engaging with early education with them. We know that the quality of those interactions in the early years of life are a key predictor of children's future success. And so this is what we've focused on in several different ways that I'm going to go on to outline now for you. The slide moves. So in terms of closing the inequalities gap, we have a strategy in Coventry that's linked to Marmot, which is all around closing inequalities. And we know that children from disadvantaged households often have fewer structured learning experiences. And that if we have a stimulating offer around HLE for them, that we can help to close the gap in that way. And it's about catching up. So quite often children are coming into school with developmental delay. The statistics suggest that it's as high as 45% for children from disadvantaged backgrounds. So it's an important area for us to be doing work on. And these children have fewer language exchanges with their families. They go fewer places, and they have fewer experiences. So what have we done? We knew that we wanted to do both universal and targeted work, and we knew that the universal work we wanted to be available to families at any time of the day. So we utilised 2 apps, and the first one is called 50 Things to Do Before You're 5. The framework behind it is low cost and local, and to keep things simple. It's about being in the moment with your child. So putting your phone down and engaging with your child and enjoying spending time with them. And that can be washing up, can be hanging the washing up, can be tidying up around the house. It doesn't have to be anything big, and it doesn't have to involve complicated resources. So what we've done with the app is we have basically with an approach which says we can use it anywhere at any time and in any way. You'll see in some of the pictures, part of our comms strategy has been to advertise far and wide. So it's on all of our electronic boards throughout the city. It's in all of our county council buildings. The 50 Things to Do Before You're 5 app is used in all 8 family hubs. It underpins the content of the stay and play sessions with families. We've done a lot of work with our libraries teams and with our adult and community learning teams. And so their sessions are also based around the 50 activities. So what we wanted was for this to become something that was recognisable, that wherever families went, they would see 50 things and think, oh yeah, okay, I know what that is. So we have 50 things to do. And then we also have a second app called Easy Peasy. The stats around Easy Peasy have been interesting because we know that this app is used by a lot of our parents out of hours, so after 8 p.m. And again, this app has an algorithm in it that if a parent searches for something, for example, around sleeping, eating, early language, then it will pull the information that they need and provide that to them in their feed. Again, it all comes direct from source and the content is monitored. So part of what we need to happen is for what we provide to families to be of a really, really high quality. We also use Easy Peasy as well as 50 Things in our early years settings and in our schools. So it's everywhere that you go. This app focuses on early learning as well, but not to the extent that 50 Things to Do Before You're 5 does. And it has been a way for us to make sure that every single group that works with children and families under 5 has had a means and an approach to engage with them. So our health visitors use it, it's used in our baby clinics, as I've said, it's used in schools, libraries and in adult and community learning activities. So here's some of the impact around the work in family hubs. So the Start for Life funding provided us with a home learning environment advisory teacher who's worked with all of the different groups that I've mentioned, and as well as the family hubs, we're also working with the job shop. And we've had over 1,100 direct interactions, so face-to-face interactions. So the delivery of the apps is both face-to-face and online. We sometimes use it in a more targeted way. So we became aware that we had a large Eritrean women's population who were feeling quite isolated within their community. And therefore, we set up a group working with health visitors, and we use 50 Things as the way in to support them with some stay and learn sessions. We're working closely with housing, and so we discovered that 90% of families in temporary housing have a child within that family group that's aged birth to 5. So now we take 50 Things on tour and we go in and out of our buildings where we have a number of families who are in temporary accommodation. All of the family hub staff are trained in the use of the apps, and we've also trained a number of wider service areas where we know that they have an interaction with children and families. One of the other angles that we came at this from was workforce development. Our data around good level of development is lower than national and lower than our statistical neighbours. And in particular, our data set around communication and language is one that concerns us, more so since the pandemic. We work really closely with our speech and language therapy team, and we've developed and delivered 3 tiers of training. The expectation is that everybody will access tier 1, and at the moment we're at 60% of the early years practitioners and providers in schools, childminders and early years settings. And we now have 60 organisations who've gone all the way through to tier 3, and we have 60 communication champions now across Coventry, and that includes our family hub staff. And the premise of this work is that we can identify difficulties earlier, and therefore we reduce the pressure where children need a referral into speech and language teams. So our next steps will be to develop a specialist tier 4 course, which looks directly at specific communication and language difficulties. We're going to implement a waiting well approach. So where children are on a waiting list for speech and language therapy, their families will be signposted into targeted sessions of something called Talking Tots and Early Talk Boost. So that's work that we do in partnership with Speech and Language UK. We're busy embedding the work that we've done for the last 2 years, and we're now starting to pick up more work around oral health that we're going to link into what we do with the apps as well. So we've been really busy for the last 2 years, and I think we're going to carry on being really busy. More than happy to pick up on any wider questions related to this work. So I think that's the end of our slides. There's some context in the slides that I've presented that will give you a bit more information I've skipped past.